Hello and welcome to episode 174 of the Nintendo Fun Club podcast, a podcast about Nintendo and about fun. I'm Ryan, and joining me, as always, is John.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
Nice to be here. It's been a while.
Great. Yeah, it's been a really long time, like over a month since we recorded this podcast together.
Yeah, but you and Lindsay put out a very entertaining episode a couple weeks back and filled me in on the whole Pokemon scenario. So that was good. I enjoyed being a Nintendo Fun Club listener for a minute there.
Ooh, that sounds terrible. Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, there's been some games, like some Smash Brothers, some little bit of news. So I guess we have some stuff to talk about here. Flip Grip.
Yeah. There's been a lot going on. We have to talk about Smash Brothers before you go to Japan for 2 weeks, and the moment completely passes. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's just go ahead and jump into the news. Like, we actually got like a weird amount of Nintendo news at the Game Awards. You were not watching the Game Awards, correctly?
No, I wasn't. I was watching an NXT show in Milwaukee, and that was awesome. So I think I made the right call. I missed out on the Game Awards. It would have been cool, especially with all the Nintendo news, but I didn't watch live, no, or at all. Actually, I just read about what happened.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's once again, like we watched it all live. It's a solid show. Like, it's really entertaining, even though like 90% of the games talked about on there are things that I'm probably not ever going to play and are not really for me. But that said, like, it's still like, it's reasonably entertaining. Like, it moves at a good pace. It keeps it fun and exciting. And it, the awards part of it is pretty cool too. Like, even though, like, of course it's not like exactly the games that I would pick for any of those awards. It's like cool just seeing like games getting recognized in like a, I don't know, like an Oscars-esque way.
Yeah, and I was going to say I like to watch the Oscars, but I mean, they're sort of ridiculous too. And it's sort of just about, the spectacle is kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of fun once in a while. Once a year is probably all I could handle with something like that. For each medium or whatever. So, yeah, I've certainly watched in the past, and it's fun. So, I'll watch again when possible, but at the same time, like, once that moment has passed, I didn't feel a lot of pull to go back and like watch it on demand or something.
No,
if you can do that, I don't know, but
yeah, no, but yeah. So like some of the stuff we did get from the show, like one of the surprise reveals was Mortal Kombat 11. And I think the bigger surprise is that it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, and the same version too, right? I mean, as far as we know, it's just Mortal Kombat 11 coming to Switch. It's not like Mortal Kombat 11 chibi version or Mortal Kombat 11, but actually it's the mobile game, but it's on the Switch. Like, it's not that. It's just Mortal Kombat 11, right?
Yeah. It's not Mortal Kombat 11, but you're not going to get any of the DLC or patches.
Right.
No, it seems like legit Mortal Kombat 11. Which, again, I think we've mentioned this way back in the day when we were talking about Injustice on Wii U. Like, don't trust anything we say about these games, because we do have a friend who works on them. So we're like, I guess, biased.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so.
You haven't like played any of these games, so I don't think you're really that biased. But
yeah, well, I'm gonna play this one. That's for sure. I'm gonna play this one.
So I don't think we've ever like actually talked about Mortal Kombat on this podcast, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Because Kevin and I were like totally like geeking out and having like a nostalgia fest, like talking about Mortal Kombat like via text like a few days ago.
Okay.
Were you into MK back in the day?
I was into MK back in the day. In fact, I'll lead with a memory I have from being, I don't know, 10 or 12 and being at a family reunion somewhere in the middle of Illinois, like stuck there, hating everything, not wanting to be there at all. And the only thing making it even semi-tolerable for me was my Sub-Zero paperback novel that I was reading while I was there.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of following the lore and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, of course, I was super into Mortal Kombat. I had Mortal Kombat 2 on the Genesis. Saw Mortal Kombat the movie in the theater like opening weekend. Played it at the arcade. Played it at home. Yeah, I was super into Mortal Kombat. In fact, as we have talked about numerous times on the show, in the 16-bit era, I was more of a Sega Genesis person than I was a Super Nintendo person, and Mortal Kombat was like one of the, I mean, it wasn't a Sega franchise, but if you owned a Genesis at the time, it almost felt that way because it was, it was best on Genesis.
Yeah. ABACABB.
Yeah.
It's that blood code.
Yeah. Well, I didn't need that blood code. You didn't need the blood code on Genesis, did you?
For MK1 you did.
Oh, okay.
MK2 was uncensored across all platforms. Okay. So even the SNES one.
I see.
Yeah, but the SNES version of MK1 was sweat.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might have had Mortal Kombat 1 on Genesis. I'm not positive. I know I had 2. Definitely played a bunch of 1 in the arcade and stuff. So probably it is mostly 1 and 2 though, where I was kind of following it. I don't know that I really stuck with it after that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like it might be worth like devoting some time at some point to doing like an MK episode before 11 hits Switch, because I'm also pretty on board for 11 on Switch. Like I text you and everyone last week because MK10 is $5 on PSN or free on Xbox Game Pass. And so I got the XL edition on PSN. And I was playing it, and I hadn't really played Mortal Kombat 10 at all, but it's super fun. And there's like tons of single player content. It looks great. It's really fun, like unlocking stuff, and there's a lot of secrets and everything. And like just the fighting and stuff like really makes sense to me in a way that like a lot of modern fighters don't really. So, and it's like more my speed. It's like a little bit slower than like Blade Blue or Dragon Ball Fighters or Guilty Gear or even like Street Fighter 5. It definitely feels like more my pace of a fighting game. It's like an old man fighting game. I felt the same way about the Injustice games as well, which those I was like more into than Mortal Kombat in recent years. Like I've spent a lot of time with both of the Injustice games, and because I'm a big DC Comics fan as well, so that's like super cool. But I was really impressed with MK10, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I mean, basically the only reason I've stopped playing it is because of Smash. But I will definitely be picking up MK11 probably on Switch if it's a good port. I remember NetherRealm's Injustice I bought on on Wii U, and that was a great port. That game was super fun. I played a ton of that on Wii U. So yeah, I'm definitely down for it. But I think like the biggest news about Mortal Kombat 11, besides it coming to Switch, which is extra important for this podcast, is that one of the rumored characters joining the roster is none other than Spawn.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you've been on a tear posting about this on Twitter over the last like 4 or 5 days. I don't know how long. Like, I feel like you're getting a couple spawn posts in a day, if not more. So yeah. Which I mean, man, I want to see this happen because I want to see it happen, but also like I just want to see your reaction to Spawn in this Mortal Kombat game. Like I don't, because your reaction to the rumor has been I wouldn't call it measured, you know. I'd say like your excitement level is very strong, and yeah, I would love to see how you react to actual Spawn in Mortal Kombat 11.
Well, I mean, it will be positively. Like, I'll be so stoked. Like, I will be buying that season pass day one. I mean, like, Mortal Kombat has like a cool history of incorporating like horror, and kind of like, I don't know, like, yeah, like mostly
Jason. Had Jason and Freddy, right? In a previous, was it Mortal Kombat
10? Well, in MK XL or MK10 XL.
Can we call it Mortal Kombat?
Okay.
Thank you.
You don't like MK?
I prefer Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Okay.
Like when we get to the Smash Brothers section of the show, I don't want to call it SSB.
Okay. You just call it Smash?
Yeah. I mean, you can call this Combat as long as you really like, you know, pronounce it with a hard K.
That K, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Mortal Kombat.
Wait, what?
Like a, you know, like a soft C. or a silent K, Mortal Kombat. I like it. No,
what about like a Mortal
in Mortal Kombat 10 XL, in the DLC, there's Xenomorph from Aliens, Jason Voorhees, Freddy, Leatherface, something else ridiculous. But yeah, it's pretty great.
Is Michael Myers in it?
I don't think Michael Myers. I almost said that, but I don't think so.
He's in something, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. But someone I was tweeting about Spawn being in Mortal Kombat, and someone was like, oh, I think it was Neil, was like, I want to see him announced in Smash.
Yeah, that was Neil,
and,
I think, yeah.
And like the idea of that is so funny to me for so many reasons. Because one, like, you'd get, like, I can picture it like perfectly. Like if I was on the Smash Brothers development team, like I'd obviously be pushing hard for Spawn right now, for those remaining 4 DLC character slots. But like the stage, obviously Spawn Alley or Hell, you could have either, both. The music would be super fun because you'd be able to pick like a bunch of stuff off the Spawn soundtrack. The Spawn movie soundtrack.
Yeah, some industrial music,
yeah. All those like electronic metal band mashups.
Stabbing Westward or something.
Yeah. Like it would be so good. And also it would be so hilarious. Like people who bought the Smash season pass
DLC.
would be like, what?
They
like,
have to get Spawn. They don't have an option.
Yeah, you just have Spawn in your game now. You just Spawn there.
He'd actually be an awful fit for Smash Brothers. Like, it would not make any sense or work or fit or be good. But he would be great in Mortal Kombat. Like, would fit really well.
He'd be great in Smash.
Yeah.
With his like magic, like beams and stuff, and like the chains.
So then would there be like an Angelica assist trophy or like a...
Well, not Angelica, because Marvel owns that now.
What? Really?
Yeah, there's like a huge court case between Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane about the rights to Angela, and now the way it worked out is Marvel owns Angela now.
Oh, it's called Angela? I thought it was Angelica.
No.
Okay. Well, it's been a while. I'm not as okay. So like maybe like you could get like Violator or
yes.
Who else is there?
Overkill, Redeemer.
Oh, Medieval Spawn.
Yeah.
Um, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
who's the
but
guy
no,
that
I
killed
think it would be
Spawn?
a great fit for Mortal Kombat for sure.
Who's the guy that killed Spawn? His buddy.
Oh, Chapel.
Yeah, Chapel.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Man,
Yeah.
why not just like bring all of like the young bloods in as well? Brigade.
Yeah. I've read a lot of Image comics in the 90s, and I don't even remember half the stuff that you're talking about here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we need Liefeld properties in there. We can just stick with Tom McFarlane stuff, I think.
Yeah. What about Savage Dragon?
Eric Larson is a go. Yes, any Eric
Yeah.
Larson properties would be fine.
Great.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah. I hope this is true. Otherwise, we just accidentally recorded another Spawncast.
And definitely alienated anybody actually listening at this point, so
yeah. Not as
yeah.
much as Nintendo fans would be alienated if he appeared in Smash.
No, I'm saying that'd be
Be
bad.
the most hilarious thing.
That would not work. Yeah.
It would be so good.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess speaking of superheroes, Spawn's not a superhero, but he's a comic book character, and
He's an anti-superhero.
Yeah.
A super anti-hero.
Yeah. Yeah. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. That's the most surprising announcement from the Game Awards, I think, especially for Nintendo fans. Did you ever play any of these games?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Kevin definitely played the X-Men Legends game that would eventually kind of morph into this like larger series. But there's super fun, like top-down, isometric, like action RPGs. They're basically like Diablo with like Marvel characters, and which is extremely my jam. And like this series has kind of been on ice for like a decade, basically. And it's coming back as a Nintendo Switch exclusive, developed by Team Ninja, which is just like the strangest sentence. And I love pretty much every word of it.
So is this a situation you think where like Nintendo found out that they were starting development on a game like this and was like, we want that on our system, like we want to, purchase exclusivity sort of thing? Or it seems like it must have been something like that, right? Because otherwise it seems like kind of an odd, call to make it Switch exclusive, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much weird stuff about this because I don't ever recall, because it's published by Activision. Like the prior games were all published by Activision, and they were like the old games, like the X-Men Legends games, like those were developed like in-house Activision by Raven Software, which is now like one of Activision's multiple like Call of Duty factories now. But Raven used to develop like really cool, interesting games. But
what is the X-Men game that Old Sport from up there in Canada developed? The Eternal Darkness guy.
Oh, Dennis Dyax.
Yeah. What was that game? Wasn't there an X-Men game that they made?
Yeah.
That was really bad?
Yeah.
It wasn't part of this series though.
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Well, then it doesn't matter. But.
Yeah. No, actually, I never played that game on any platform, but did not hear great things, which is a bummer.
I guess this could be this could be another one of those. Well, no, probably not with the Marvel license. I was going to say it could be one of those situations where, they were looking to get this game developed, but there wasn't enough support for it. Nintendo sort of was like, well, we'll help out, but it's got to be an exclusive sort of thing. But you would think with the Marvel license at this point in time in the year of our Lord 2018, that wouldn't be a hard project to get off the ground,
No.
Yeah.
No, I think this is probably something Nintendo pushed hard for. And because, I mean, it's also like Activision and Team Ninja Tecmo Koei working together is weird. Like there had to be that middleman there, and I think the middleman is Nintendo.
Bridging East and West, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But so I mean, I guess from the look of the game, you can just from like the promo art, it's very cartoony and cel shaded. I think like the art design looks great. But it's pretty MCU looking. We see like the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers, like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, also Spider-Man. But I think what's like really exciting about it is we see Wolverine. So this is kind of showing that we are going to get some X-Men in this game, which is
notable for some reason?
Yeah, they've been missing from the games for a while because of a lot of like there's like so much weird stuff going on with Marvel properties. I mean, like you can remember how long it took to get like Spider-Man in the
because they had licensed characters out separately, right? Like sort of thing. So yeah, different companies held different rights too. It's weird that would cross over into video games too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not like they couldn't make X-Men comics anymore or something when Fox, owned the rights to the X-Men and Wolverine. Well, I guess they still do, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like,
but there was something really interesting to look into is they canceled the Fantastic Four comic for like 2 years because of like rights issues around that. Yeah. Okay. So, but like in Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, the fighting game that came out on like PS4 and Xbox One, there's no X-Men characters in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like we're definitely seeing Wolverine here though, so
cool.
They must have figured something out. Got that going. But I don't know. I think this is really exciting stuff. I like these games a lot. I've played all of them. I played all the X-Men Legends games. I still have X-Men Legends 1 and 2 on GameCube. And I played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 as well. So great stuff. Super fun, just like action RPGs. Like you level up your characters and there's tons of characters to play as. I'm watching the trailer right now and we have like Wolverine attacking Sentinels and it looks like it's out in front of like the X Mansion and stuff. So yeah, but there's also like a lot of like Thanos and his dark people. So
he has those.
Yeah, like I don't even remember what their names are in Infinity War. His like heralds or whatever. I don't remember any of their names.
Yeah.
They didn't like really get much screen time or like build or anything. But they were like there and they had a few fights.
Okay.
So
yeah. So is it a thing where like you'd go through like an X-Men level, regardless of who you're playing as, and fight like X-Men villains and then fight like an X-Men boss type thing, but then you'd end up like in a, whatever other Ghost Rider themed level or something like
that would be awesome.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, is that the kind of thing it is?
No,
because
like it's basically like you're just in like the Marvel universe, and so you're just like in like New York, and you'll like whatever villain is causing this problem, but to get to him, you have to get through someone else, and It's like a mixture of different villains as you progress. It pretty much like it's like a linear RPG basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
super fun games. X-Men Legends 2 in particular is probably my favorite of the lot. The game was really, really great.
Okay.
So anyways, you edited a game here.
I did, yeah. So the thing that was most exciting to me from the Game Awards was Sayonara Wild Hearts, and I don't really know very much about it. And I guess nobody really does, but I don't think I'm familiar with any games from the studio that's making this or anything like that. I had thought it was a Nintendo exclusive, but it looks like it's actually not. It was just kind of like announced for Switch there, but it sounds like it's coming to other platforms too. But it just seems so like Japanese, but then it turns out it's not even that either. Like it's not Japanese, I don't think. It looks like it's made by a Swedish studio.
Yeah.
Simogo, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm not familiar with any of this, but the design is like really striking, and it looks like it is, I mean, the visual design, I should say. And it looks like it's kind of about like different pop groups sort of in conflict with one another or something, which that's another reason I think I thought like, oh, this must be Japanese, you know, because it seemed like a very Japanese kind of like concept to have a game focused on like, you know, pop idols or, you know, pop groups or whatever. But apparently from like the press release or something, the game is described as a euphoric music video dream, a euphoric music video dream about being awesome, riding motorcycles, skateboarding, dance battling, shooting lasers, wielding swords, and breaking hearts at 200 miles per hour, which, whoa, that sounds fantastic.
That does sound good, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like Splatoon, like it's so stylish, you know, that it's like that's a lot of the appeal, and like this looks so stylish. Also, I feel like it looks short too, which I love, you know, like I would guess it's like a 6 to 10 hour game or something like that, you know, just based on like the look of it and stuff. Like, it doesn't seem like you could play or that they would design or create a game that looked like this that would be like, you know, 30 hours long or something. And that's cool too. So it just seems like you were talking about the Marvel game being very you know, and like, oh my God, it's right up your alley and all that stuff. And I know that this game will be very appealing to you as well. But for me, I'm like, oh, this looks super weird and very stylish, and the design is so cool. So, you know, not that I play like a ton of indie games or, you know, sort of more quirky games like this, but I don't know, I'm just getting like Rub Rabbits vibes and like No More Heroes type vibes, you know, stuff like just really memorable, interesting, unique kind of stuff, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, for sure. I totally forgot about this until you brought it up. It was like one of the first reveals of the Game Awards, and yeah, like it looks great.
Yeah, and it's Annapurna Games, which is publishing it too, which I mean, I think that adds a level of like, it's probably good, you know, a level of credibility, if you will.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it looks really fun. So,
yeah, definitely. All right. Well, let's move on to some things we've been playing. We both got our flip grips in the mail because we backed that.
We did. Yours came first. Mine didn't come until I think after I had Smash Brothers, so that's kind of limited my my interaction with the flip grip so far. It was one of those weird things too, where George H.W. Bush died, and then they, you know, were like no mail for a day, and I think that slowed me down a little bit too. So I didn't get it until after the 41st president's funeral and stuff, or whatever that was. So yeah, I probably played it definitely less than you have, but you know, it is what it is what it was advertised to be, which is a really cool solution for playing vertical oriented or tate mode games, you know.
What have you played on it?
I've played some Namco Arcade Collection or Arcade Museum, I think it's called. A couple games from there. And I played a little bit of pinball, tried to play a little bit of pinball. and that might be it.
Okay.
I think that might be it. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what I tried it with first. I think that I haven't played any arcade archives games. So yeah, I think that might be it. How about you? What have you played?
Well, and I'll throw these out. These two in particular as suggestions for like I think great ways to kind of break in your flip grip. Gunbird 2. That's one of the Psycho uh, vertical shooters that it was released. Gunbird 2 was released here on the Dreamcast. It was actually published by Capcom back in the day. Super, super fun shooter. It's right kind of between like your classic style of like 16-bit shooter and like the more like modern of the era like bullet hell type shooters. It's kind of right in the middle there. And it has a lot of adjustable difficulty levels, but I think it's one of like the it's just like gorgeous pixel art, and it's got like a lot of personality and a lot of humor and stuff in it. And it's just super fun to play. So I played through that and really enjoyed it. And then like the other vertical shooter suggestion I have is Ikaruga, which has is a little bit less exciting on Switch just because it's been released on so many platforms at this point, but it's still like quite possibly the best vertical shooter ever made. And it's a treasure joint. It's so fun. I love the game a lot. It's like it can be appreciated on a lot of different skill levels, and like the finer points are like pretty apparent right away. Like you kind of know what you need to do to be really good at it because it has this like bullet polarity system. So yeah, that's those have been like the two main ones I've played and really enjoyed, but I've also been messing around with some of the vertical shooters in the SNK 40th anniversary collection as well. And there's some pretty fun stuff in there as well, and that just recently got a bunch more games.
11 more games.
11 more games, yeah. Added in as DLC and patched in. And that's really, really cool. That collection just keeps on giving, literally, because when I sit down for like a session with that, like I'm going through like the crazy museum mode and all these, like there's this great timeline and just like experimenting with the different games and the different versions of the games. But that's another one where like a lot of those games are vertically oriented, so they work really well with the flip grip as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the SNK collection that's on the Christmas list. So if I don't get it that way, I will probably pick it up soon after. And Ikaruga, I have been meaning to get. It was one of those games where like the week or two after it came out, I was planning on picking it up and didn't do it. So I'd like to go back to that one for sure.
Yeah, definitely something you should check out, especially if you've never played it before.
Yeah, but the flip grip is definitely awesome. The packaging it came in is like really, really cool.
Yeah.
It was a struggle for me. I recycled it. I did recycle it. I didn't keep the cardboard box it came in, but like I kind of really wanted to because it was really nice looking. But then I was like looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, this is going to be one of like how many hundreds of like boxes that I have sitting around for, like that I don't need and taking up space. You still have yours?
Yeah, I threw it in a cabinet.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things. Like that's exactly it. It's like one of those things that I'll find it like 5 years from now and be like, well, I didn't really need this, and then get rid of it. But I guess the point here is the packaging is so nice that I was tempted to keep like the cardboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. You know, the one thing that I feel like it takes a little getting used to is like when you pull it out, like there's this orange button on the back, and you kind of like stick your finger behind it and like push it out, the button out, like away from the flip grip, rather than it feels like something I want to push in, you know? Which is not a problem at all. It's just like a surprise, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
But
I really like the way it feels. The way it like it distributes the weight of the screen like weirdly well. And makes it like it feels pretty comfortable to hold, and it's like it gives you like this huge surface on the back to like put your finger to rest your fingers on. And so it doesn't feel like it like tightens everything up. Like it actually feels closer to like a regular game controller playing in portable mode, whereas like playing, you know, with the Switch, you know, in portable mode proper, like you're playing with this really wide thing where your hands are like pretty far apart.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they did, which makes, you know, a lot of sense, but I think what they did is like the top of the flip grip ends where the top of the Joy-Con are, you know? So it's not adding any additional weight beyond where the Joy-Con are, you know what I mean? And obviously there's like the extra weight of the rest of the Switch, but in comparison, like in contrast to the actual flip grip and the Joy-Con in your hand, you know, all the weight that you're feeling is kind of like down in your hands, you know, which is how you'd want it to be. So it doesn't feel like I'm holding it right now, and I don't feel like I have to like work to make it not like flip forward, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I meant by like the way the weight of the screen is like distributed.
Yeah.
Like it's really interesting how like it doesn't feel like it's always like falling forward or something.
Right.
That you're like having to pull on it like the whole time just to keep it like upright.
Yep.
And and that's like coming from us, and we're like pretty weak men.
We are. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So like it totally could have been something that like we would have complained about.
Oh man. Yeah. Right. Right.
Oh, why is this thing so heavy?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, it's very well designed. It's great. My only complaint is not with the flip grip, but with games that don't completely support it, you know, accidentally, I guess you'd say. But yeah, I was telling you before we started recording, I was trying to play some Stern Pinball Arcade, and that has like the Tate mode support, vertical mode support, but it doesn't have, I don't know what you'd say, like 360 degree. Like a lot of games, when you want to put it in a Tate mode or whatever, it'll just be like, you can flip at 90 degrees. So you just keep flipping at 90 degrees until, but Stern Arcade, it only just flips it and then flips it back, you know? So it's upside down if you want to play it on the flip grip. And that is one thing about the flip grip, which, you know, I think it makes sense and it's fine, but I think it has to do with vents and access to headphone jacks and stuff like that. But you can only put it in one way, you know? So if you have a game that goes vertical, but it goes in the opposite direction that you would need it to for the flip grip, then you're kind of waiting on them to put out a patch to support the flip grip, which is the only option I know of to actually play a game in vertical mode, like handheld like this, you know? Besides, I guess, like some kind of stand you could put it on your system on or whatever. But I don't anticipate anybody else. I don't know, maybe they will. Maybe like Hori or someone will put out something like this, but it just seems like this is the solution. Like if you want to play a game in this format, you're going to play it on the flip grip. So, you know, if you're a developer who has a game out there that can be played in vertical mode, like just seems like something that ought to be done is to update it to work with flip grip, because it's like, it's not the official solution, but it's the, for all intents and purposes, like the agreed upon solution for playing games this way. So support it.
Totally. Like there's still a lot of games I want to try using it. Like you mentioned Arcade Archives, like I want to play some Donkey Kong in vertical mode, and a few others like the Namco Museum Collection, which you mentioned. And what else? Oh, the what is it? The Atari collection that just came out for Switch. Which actually appears like these Atari collections have come out on like PS4 and Xbox One, and I've seen them around, and they're like $20 each, but there's like multiple. There's 3 of them, and each of them have like X amount of games, and they're $20. But the Switch one has, I think, I think it's $40, but it has like 100 games. And I was like looking through the game list, and it has like obviously like Atari 2600 games, but it also has like Atari arcade games and like Atari 5200 games, which I thought was like super interesting. But then like a lot of the games, not a lot actually. I think it's only like 10, but can be played using the flip grip, like in vertical orientation, the proper way. So I'm not like a huge fan of like that era of games really, but there are some games I like to go back to, from the Atari age. So that would be a cool collection to get down the road. And I mean, if the Switch is truly becoming the ultimate retro gaming machine, like it feels like, might as well get one collection that has like everything from that era in it as well. So
yeah, I think for me it's going to be probably mainly pinball, and then maybe some vertical shooters too. I'm bad at those, but like I said, I'd like to pick up at least a couple. Thunder, what's the Sega Ages game that I Thunder Force 4? Does that probably doesn't?
No,
right? That was a Genesis game.
Yeah, that's a horizontal shooter.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so they didn't have like a an arcade version previously that used a vertical monitor or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, well, pinball. But I don't know. Like there's obviously a ton of tables in Pinball FX3, which I think that's like the primary pinball game on Switch, right? I mean, I know there's others, but
that's the one I play. Well, that's pinball, the one that had the most things that interest me.
Yeah, well, there's FX3, and then there was Stern Pinball, and then there was also the other one. Which one was it? Like that got they lost all their tables, and now they're actually in Pinball FX3. Like, was it Williams or? It doesn't matter. Anyway, there was another one, but they ended up getting like swallowed up by Pinball FX3, I think. So that's the one to get. But I mean, why not complain about it one more time here since I have the opportunity? Pinball FX3 doesn't have any of the Star Wars tables on Switch, and that's like been the thing where if they had those Star Wars tables on Switch, I probably would have like already bought like all the Star Wars tables plus like other ones. But I've been hesitant to be like, I'm going to start investing in this ecosystem on Switch because it's like not even the best version of Pinball FX3 because, I could get more tables on my PS4. But I can't blame handheld and with a flip grip on PS4. So now I'm kind of like, well, maybe I should, jump in and
what I really like about because I had Pinball FX3 on Xbox One, I think is where like I'd bought the Star Wars tables. I think it was on Xbox One or PS4, wherever it was. Like I would go to like the leaderboards, and like I had 0 friends playing, so like I never got to compare scores with friends. But on the Switch version of Pinball FX3, because like everyone I know has a Switch and everyone I know plays Switch all the time, there's actually like a bunch of my friends on the leaderboards there that I can like compare scores to. So that's I think that's like what makes it most fun for me playing on Switch. And so like I bought the Alien like table pack, which is really cool. And then I bought the Bethesda table pack. with like Doom and stuff as well. So wait, I think I bought those on Switch. Now I can't even remember, but I know I bought like the Aliens one on Switch for sure.
That is one thing that could be improved about Pinball FX3 though, is like I probably only own the Star Wars tables, I guess, on PS4, but I own some tables on there, and it's like it'd be nice to be able to play your tables on whatever platform you happen to open that software on, instead of them being tied to specific platforms, which is kind of frustrating. But anyway, pinball is a good use of the flip grip, because it's nice to be able to see that whole sort of table as you would, and you really can't do that. Like if you do that on a horizontal monitor, you're so like far zoomed out and stuff, and
it's like this tiny like 4x3 image in the middle.
So
no, for sure. But you bought the Namco Arcade Collection.
I did, and it's not like I have that much to say about it. I haven't played it all that much, but it's cool. I got a great deal on it. I actually paid, like, out of my pocket, I paid $10 for it from Best Buy, because it was on sale for, it's normally $40. I think it was on sale for $20, and I had a $10 credit or whatever, like through the rewards, Gamer Club reward thing or whatever. So yeah, I only paid $10, and I was like, well, I've got to get it, especially to get it physical, and because I got it physical, obviously. So, to get it physical and have it be for that little, I've got to go for it. So
yeah.
And I know you have this, right? But you got it before they had added the Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 part to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this was a place where I really got screwed by being an early adopter.
Yeah, because did you pay $40 for this too?
It was either 30 or 40, but like, I mean, I would have got it like the physical edition, especially for like, after Gamers Club Unlocked, it would have been like $32 or whatever. So, and then also getting Pac-Man Championship Edition 2, which I bought on Xbox One before it was announced for Switch. So,
yeah. It's cool. So, I've played a little bit. I haven't played Splatterhouse yet, which is like one of the big attractions for me, but it was like after Halloween when I got it, and I didn't have that much time to sit down and really play like the first time I fired it up. So I'm trying to think what I played. I played Rolling Thunder, which is cool, and I had no experience with that game before.
It's so good.
It's pretty good. It's hard though. Like I have a lot of trouble with it. It's very hard. But it's cool. Which is like a side-scrolling sort of gunplay style game, but it has a very unique kind of, well, maybe unique's not the right word, but it's from an era of arcade games that is not what I'm really used to, like visually and even like gameplay wise. It's weird because it feels like sort of caught between, to me, like visually and just technology wise, it feels sort of like caught between like 70s and like really early 80s arcade stuff, and then like the kind of thing I grew up on, which is a little more advanced, like visually and technology wise. Yeah, because it's weird. Like it doesn't feel. I don't know if you know what I mean, but it doesn't feel like it's from like the early 80s, like late 70s, early 80s. But then it doesn't feel, and I don't even know what year it came out, but it doesn't feel like it looks and feels like it should have been like late 80s either,
Yeah. Because like late 80s you associate with like 1989, like Final Fight. Yes. I think, which set the standard for like arcade visuals.
Yeah, sort of like the stuff you'd expect to play on a Genesis, or something, but like better looking. And this is in the era when like you'd go to the arcade and you'd be like, oh my God, I can't wait until a home console can look as good as these arcade games. Yeah. But this looks like, I don't know. It's weird because like I don't think you could run it on the NES, but then at the same time, like it looks way sub 16-bit. It's just a weird,
It's like TurboGrafx 16.
Something, yeah.
Early Genesis.
But I feel like I'm dipping my toes into like an era of gaming that's like in the in between zone, and like in between like two, I don't know, like two roads, that I know, but I never really have been in that specific region or area or whatever of gaming. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, yeah, and I think, I don't know. We don't need to go like too far into this, but it's also like this weird genre of game too, because it's not like a run and gun shooter. It's not like Contra.
right.
But it's like you kind of have to be really deliberate and like uh I don't know, strategic, and like it's basically like Gears of War in the 80s, where you have, it's like a cover based shooter kind of. You have to like duck behind things and like wait, and then like use opportunities, and there's like a mild like platforming element to like going between
But
levels and stuff.
yeah. But what's weird though? It almost feels kind of like a side-scrolling version of an on-rail shooter or something,
Mhm.
because, and I say that because it's like you don't move very quickly. You're not really, you are platforming because you can go up and down like between levels or whatever. And there's areas where you have to jump from like one side of the screen to the other and not fall and like all this stuff. But at the same time, it's like the strategic part of it reminds me of like an on-rail shooter or something. I mean, I guess they're not very strategic. They're more just like wildly shoot at everything on the screen until you're not dead. And that's not quite what this is like, but I don't know, it's just so stop and starty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's I think that's what
Stop
it
and
is.
pop.
Stop and
Yeah.
yeah, sort of, yeah. Whereas normally like a Contra or like an action game, like a run and gun action game, they're not allowed to run in this game, you know what I mean? It's like stop and gun, then like move some more, and then I don't know, it's just a real weird game. Everything about it weirds me out, but I like it. I think it's cool, but it's
Yeah.
just very different from.
It's like the only real contemporary it has from this era is the original Shinobi,
Mm,
which is basically like the same style of gameplay, but with like ninjas,
mm-hmm.
um, and set in Japan. I don't actually know which one was first, um, but yeah, like those games feel very similar to me.
Yeah,
And super fun. I like the Rolling Thunder games a lot.
yeah. I haven't played 2 yet, but that's on there also.
Hmm. It's
So that's
better,
cool. It's
I
better.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I figure. Yeah.
Um,
Pac-Man. Obviously, I've
mhm.
played some of that on there, which is cool. Tower of Druaga, or Draga, which is cool. I don't know if you played that game much or.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. And this
yeah.
is like the best version of it as well.
Okay. But
Um,
that one feels, that one I'm like more comfortable with. Not that I like it more or even that it's, more fun or that I'm better at it, but just like I'm like, oh, I see where I am. This is like an old arcade game. It feels like an old arcade game. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And it's very retro, very like early, you know, um, early games sort of thing. Whereas, like I said, Rolling Thunder, I'm a little confused about what's happening. Like where is this from, and how come I've never played anything like this before? Is how I felt about it, sort of. But
Yeah.
yeah, Tower of Draga, I'd never played that until
Uh,
I played it here, and it's weird, but it's cool.
yeah. Super, super fun, super challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about this collection is like it has a bunch. I don't know how many games there are, like 8 or 10, maybe something,
Hmm.
arcade games, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, I kind of just want to, every once in a while pick it up and spend an afternoon playing one of these games I'm not really familiar with, which is what I've been doing with it so far. I've played it 2 or 3 times, and just played a different game every time for 45 minutes or whatever, and that's kind of seems like the best way to do it because. Um, I don't know how far I'll ever get in Tower of Daraga. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not
Hmm.
sure that I'm going to be like, this is the game I'm playing for the next 2 weeks. And I'm just going to like really focus on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it'll be
That would
more
be
of
pretty
just
awesome to do, though.
a real deep dive into Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get as good as possible. And
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. But then I guess the other part of it is the Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus
Hmm.
side of the game. And that I played the original Pac-Man Championship Edition on PS3 quite a bit. And I'm not good at it at all, but it's really cool. I love like the neon kind of like electronic music and like neon kind of vibe of it.
Yeah.
And that's really like the whole appeal to me. I know there's some different like mechanics and stuff in this sequel, and it does this thing where it's always like, you get to a certain point or point level or whatever it is, and it does this thing where it like pops out and then like goes like into another screen or something. I don't know. It's got a lot of cool visual effects. And there's a whole 2-player element to the game, which I don't know if I'll ever experience or not, but I don't know. It's good. It's cool. I don't know if I like this sequel to Championship Edition, Pac-Man Championship Edition, more than the original, or if I kind of prefer that one. But
I prefer the original.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking. But I'm just like, well, what if I'm just too dumb to know that the sequel's like even cooler? But yeah, I was kind of expecting the original, and then playing the second one just felt a little weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it didn't really click with me either, and I played a ton of the original.
Okay.
I think it's just one of those things, like they got it right on the first try, and then like it was successful, so you make a sequel, but like you didn't really need a sequel.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, still a cool game though. It's still super fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah, it's just the kind of thing that I'll pick up and play every once in a while if I'm in the mood for that sort of thing. I don't think I'll go super deep into it. But yeah, I'm happy to have the collection for sure. It is definitely cool. So, but it was just such a perfect scenario for me too, because not to say it's not worth $40, but getting it for 10 was like, oh, yeah, of course, and like low pressure on it now. It doesn't have to be, because none of these games on there are like, favorites of mine or anything. Splatterhouse is one that I was excited about, but I've never played that much like Pac-Man, never got super into it, or Galaga, or like any of that stuff. It's not like super high on my list of games that I really love or anything. So, $15, maybe $20. That's about the perfect price for this game for me. So, I guess technically I paid 20, but it felt like 10, and that was works out well for me.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to play some Galaga with the flip grip. Like, I don't know, I love that game a lot, and yeah, that's kind of a perfect pick up and play flip grip type game.
Yeah.
Cool. What else? You got Runner 3 on here.
Yeah, I don't need to talk too much about that. I got Runner 3. It's cool. I really liked Runner 2 on Wii U. Runner 3, they put it on sale, I think also for $10 when I picked it up. And not only that, but they sort of responded to a lot of the criticism of Runner 3, which was that it was way too hard and kind of unforgiving and stuff like that, by putting out it seems like a pretty comprehensive patch with a lot of difficulty options, and you can add more checkpoints and stuff like that. So I think it addressed a lot of what caused people to not be so hyped on Runner 3. And so I thought, like, hey, I loved Runner 2. It's a good price, and not only that, but they've added a lot more flexibility in terms of difficulty. So it seems like something I should just for sure get. So I picked it up, and I don't know, it's one of those weird things where it's like I don't know, it's not really clicking with me all that much. I think it feels really similar to Runner 2, which is absolutely what I would have expected and what I would have wanted. But for some reason, it just like, I don't know if it's and this is so shallow, but I don't know if it's the look of the game or sort of like,
because it's a bit uglier, right?
I don't know if it's uglier or if it's just that Runner 2 was weird looking also, but at the time it wasn't as noticeable because I wasn't used to playing. You know what I mean? Like, it was on Wii U. I just got past the Wii era where everything was in 480p, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So, well, here's the deal. I don't really respond very well to like the humor or the aesthetic of this game. And I didn't either with Runner 2. Like it's got like, it's weird. Like they have like fake commercials and they'll be for like schnitzel or like weird cheeses and stuff. And like that's like supposed to be funny, I think, to people or something, or give it character. And to me, it's just like, I don't know what this is, but it's making me feel really weird. Like I don't know. So,
Yeah.
but that's not a problem. Like it's not a
No.
problem at all. It's just that like I open up the game, I'll play a couple levels. It's fun, but then I'm just like, I don't really like the music that much. I don't really like the look of it all that much. And it's just not, for some reason, when I played Runner 2, I was like really excited. It just felt really like cool and new and fresh. And playing Runner 3 just feels very like almost I'm going back to a previous generation. I don't know. You know how you need kind of like 2 levels of separation from a generation to get the like nostalgia thing? But like if you go back 1 level of generation, it's sometimes just feels old. That's kind of like what it feels like to me. Like right now, if you go back and play your PS3 or your Wii U, like sometimes that's cool. And sometimes you're like, this feels kind of old, you know, and not like special. And I think that might be a little bit of where Runner 3 is for me too. I don't know, but I like it. Like I play it for 15 minutes here and there. The way I play it and the way I played 2 is I get like there's 100 coins, or I'm not even remembering what exactly it is I think they're coins that you grab as you run through the level. And all you have to do to finish the level is get to the end of it. But you know, a lot of times I'll get 100 out of 100 coins, or whatever they are, because it's not that hard really to get them. But like sometimes I'll finish with like 98 or 99, and like I cannot do that. I can't handle it. I have to immediately restart the level and like do the level all the way over. So, as far as I've played in Runner 3 and as far as I've played in Runner 2, I have like 100% of that. But then the other thing with Runner 3 is like once you finish level, if you get everything, it opens up like a harder version where there's like these gems you have to collect. And I don't go for that. Like I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do the standard version, and I'm not like Mr. Cool guy when it comes to this. But at the same time, like I want to get on the standard playthrough, I want to grab every, you know, because it's not that hard to do, at least in the earlier difficulty levels. So I don't know. If you like Runner 2, I think it's really fun. There's like there's nothing wrong with it as far as my experience goes so far. Like it's very much the same thing as Runner 2. Probably better in some ways. I'm sure it's been a while since I played Runner 2, but I'm sure it has some like improvements and things like that. But I think it's just one of those situations where it's exactly what I thought it would be, but I thought I would react differently to it. Like I thought I would be more excited about it than I am. So that could just be a personal thing, but it's definitely cool.
It kind of seems a little bit like the same dilemma we were trying to like articulate about Pac-Man Championship Edition 2.
Yeah, maybe.
Like there's nothing in Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 where I'm like, whoa, this thing makes this game like way worse. Like it's just like it just like doesn't click in the same way. And I think like it's sometimes like a concept just like really works. You know, you catch that lightning in a bottle and it's everything just comes together and it just like super works. And then like you can't always replicate that or build on it or improve it. And I think that's okay.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the big difference is like I'm still really impressed with the aesthetic and the vibe of Pac-Man Championship Edition 2, but there's like little changes to it that feel kind of weird. Whereas like this game, I'm like, I don't know, it feels like basically exactly the same, but for some reason, it's just not like making me as excited. I will say too, with Runner 2, it felt like everyone I knew was playing it on Wii U. And I was comparing my scores and stuff to them, and it just felt like every time I hopped on and then like a Saturday morning to play Runner 2, I'd see like 5 friends online also playing Runner 2. And at least at the point I'm playing Runner 3 now, it just feels like kind of not really the thing that everyone's doing. Although I will look at the leaderboards after I finish a level and compare my score. That's still kind of fun, but there's just less people, you know, to compare to. So. How about that Sega Genesis collection? You kind of skip past it. Do you have much to say about that? Or
no? I totally missed it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's like, it's weird because Sega is kind of like hitting their revisiting their classic library in like this two-pronged approach. Like, one is quality, one is quantity. The Sega Ages games, developed by M2, are the quality versions, but those are, like $8 a piece, $10, $8 a piece, and you only get like one game at a time, but there's like a ton of options, and the emulation is perfect, and all that. We've gotten Sonic, Thunder Force 4, Phantasy Star just came out this week, which everyone should buy. Phantasy Star, it's an amazing 8-bit RPG, and this is the absolute best way to play it. And then Outrun has come out in Japan. It comes out next month in North America. Also amazing. So good. And like, but those are like, those 4 games together. You add them up, it's $28. This collection is $30, and it has like, I don't even
40 games probably.
Yeah, I have the box right here. Over 50 classic games.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is a $30 package, and it has 50 games, which is crazy. Really impressive. So did you get this, John?
I've not gotten it yet. Nope. I definitely plan on it. Like I said, I feel like it's a good thing to have around, just for like, even, for my son to be able to like try out different old games and stuff like that. And you know what, as far as I can tell from talking to people and reading about it online and stuff, it seems like, because you said it's quantity versus quality, right? Which absolutely is the case, but it sounds like the quality of the emulation is still decent enough where it's not like, it's not bad, right? It's just not with the total love and attention and perfection of like the M2 version. So I think I was listening to NWR, and Guillaume on there was talking about some, like, there's a little bit of lag, he said, and just like, it's not perfect, but I think the way he put it is sort of like, unless you're really paying attention to that stuff and concerned about it, the majority of people would probably play it and feel like this is fine, it's good. So again, kind of like I was saying about the Namco collection, it's like, to pick it up, every once in a while and be like, I'm going to try this game this afternoon or something, just to experience it. Sounds like it's good enough for that, versus Outrun, which I love. I want like a perfect version of Outrun. I want the best possible version of Outrun. And also I think Sega and other companies like that, they should be doing, I'm not going to say that every company should be doing both approaches like Sega is, but at least they should be doing these boutique or really like prestige, releases of some of their best games. A game like Outrun, it deserves the love and attention. It deserves to get that, but I don't hate the idea that they're also like, let's like provide a great value and just put out a bunch of games so people can experience those games, so I think, I know a lot of people like sort of scoff at or look at this and be like, well, this is illogical. Why would you release one game for $8 and then also put out, 50 games for 30? And it's like, well, because you're serving different audiences and because you have a different purpose. And I feel like this collection is about getting these games out there so people can play them, and then the Sega Ages is about really celebrating and honoring those games, which there's crossover there, but it's not the exact same thing,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely the crossover because I'm buying both.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't feel bad about that. I also bought these games on 3DS. I have this very collection on Xbox One.
I have it on Steam. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. But yeah, there's some games in here, that are like perfect for this. Like it's the same thing with like the death of Virtual Console and moving to that like buffet style approach, where there's some games on here like I would never pay actually I'd probably pay full price for a lot of these games looking at the back of the box now. But geez,
you can't find a game on there.
eSWAT, like I probably wouldn't pay $8 for eSWAT.
Yeah.
But like I like eSWAT and I totally want to play some eSWAT every once in a while. Like I'd feel weird paying $8 for it. Like what, you know, like there's probably better things I could be doing with my money. But at the same time, like eSWAT's a pretty fun game. And like I totally like to play it every once in a while. So like it's really good for that. And I think like just taking the fact that you know, this collection has Shining Force 1 and 2. It has 3 Phantasy Star games. One of which is like I consider to be one of the best RPGs ever made. And those are like long games. And like that's like, you know, if that's how you measure value of games, whatever. But then there's also like, you know, a lot of just like really simple, like, you know, early like Sega arcade ports and some stuff like, I don't know, there's definitely some stuff that like you've always kind of like heard is, you know, always has had like a bad reputation for whatever reason. But like when you actually sit down and play it in like this context, you're like, okay, well, that's not that bad. Like I was playing like Kid Chameleon the other night, and like Kid Chameleon, again, wouldn't pay $8 for it. I'd feel really bad about myself if I did. But you know, playing it here for 20 minutes, totally cool. Also, there's stuff that like is just fun to check out, even though better versions exist. Stuff like Galaxy Force 2, which got the great Sega 3D Classics treatment, but like, you know, playing the Genesis port just to be like, oh, so this is what the Genesis port of this game is like. And same with like Super Thunderblade as well. You know, and I think it's like, it's cool too, like if you're a fan of like these games and these franchises, seeing like having the console ports there in the same way. I think it's cool, like you know, the SNK collection has like the crappy NES ports of like Akari Warriors, but it also has the arcade versions. And I think that's super cool because like you're not really out anything because you can play the good version of the game there. But it's also cool to like get this like Curio, which is like this really bad NES port. But in this case, like obviously it doesn't include those arcade versions as well. But you know, these are like the Genesis ports, and it's one of 50 games. And I would say like, again, like something else that adds value here is there are online leaderboards for many of the games. It's not like a 1-to-1, like not all 50 games have online leaderboards. But like the ones that do kind of like make sense. There's also like, you know, challenges and achievements and stuff if like you're into that, like, but I don't know. I think like overall they did a good enough job. There's also online multiplayer for some of these games as well, which is pretty cool. There's rewind, save states, all of that stuff. There's like this, I don't know, like I don't love the overall interface where you're in like this room.
Bedroom, yeah.
Yeah, like it really doesn't look very good.
No, it has a very at least the Steam version, which I think is the same as this. It has a very like late 90s multimedia CD-ROM kind of feel to it.
It's like Max Headroom is what I was thinking of. Yeah, like everything is like a little bit off model. And I don't like, you know, I don't love the fact that like you know, it's cool seeing like the spines of the games on the shelf, and then you pick one, but then like it doesn't put in like the correct cartridge label on it. It's just like the logo on like this blurry Genesis cartridge.
Yeah.
And so it's not even like what it's like putting the game in.
Yeah.
So that like it's like, why even like do that? Why not just give me a list of the games, or give me the option to turn this off, because it's not really adding to my experience at all. But overall, $30. There are a lot of features here. You know, I think they did a lot with what they had here, and like the games are good. I've definitely noticed the emulation is not perfect. I've noticed there's like some slight input lag in stuff like Streets of Rage, where like it just felt a little bit off when I was playing, but like also when I'm playing in this context, it's not really too you know, I'm not like going hard on trying to like, I don't know, accomplish something. And you know, again, I think like the main highlight of this package, especially for like the Switch and portable mode and everything, are the RPGs in here, and strategy RPGs. So, and those, like, obviously, like a little bit of input lag doesn't really matter. But I also noticed there's some like there's some occasionally weird sound. Like I'd hear like when you're sometimes like starting a game or switching back and forth from like a save state and a load state, there'd be like a weird beep or something in there. But otherwise, it feels like the sound is pretty well emulated. I've only been playing in like handheld mode with the speakers and then like through my computer monitor. So I haven't really put on like headphones and really like dug deep into the sound. The last thing I'll say is it's, you know, there's a lot of like modern retro games include scanline options, and those are pretty hit or miss across the board. I feel like this is probably on the lower end of the scanline options. Like I don't think they look super great and don't really give like that feel that you want. I think like I feel like the SNES Classic is like the standard for scanlines right now, and this isn't quite there. But again, $30, 50 games, online leaderboards, rewind, save states, like it's tough to complain. Especially, you know, this on Switch is perfect because play it handheld, play it on a TV, play it in tabletop mode with 2 Joy-Con, whatever. It's pretty great.
Yeah, and does it have like 3 or 4 Sonic games on it?
Yeah, it has 4 Sonic games.
Like right there for $30. Like, you know.
Probably not the 4 you want though.
Well, it has 1 and 2.
It has 1 and 2.
Knuckles?
Nope.
Oh.
It has Sonic 3D Blast and Sonic Spinball. No Sonic 3, no Sonic and Knuckles.
Well, Spinball's pretty cool. I like Spinball.
I don't hate it. That game gets a lot of hate. I don't. I think it's fun.
I like
it. I like Sonic Spinball. Sonic 3D Blast is fine for a little while. It's a cool experiment. But it's a bummer they didn't get Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles on here.
Yeah.
But you know.
Well, still, you know, ton of games, couple Sonic games, couple, you know, like other sort of major.
You're getting like 3 Shinobi games.
Yeah.
3 Streets of Rage, 3 Golden Axes, 2 Columns games, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine,
another good one,
Beyond Oasis, which is a great like Zelda like game, Landstalker, another like isometric action RPG.
Yeah, but it doesn't have Super Monaco GP. I don't even know if that was like a Sega first party game or not, but
I think it was, but no, that's not on here. I was actually last night I was playing some Vector Man. on here.
Okay.
And I was really feeling the Vector Man vibes, which is a game I've always kind of like, I've been mostly indifferent to. I've played it. I own a cartridge of it. I enjoy it. But like I was really feeling it last night, and I ended up playing further than I ever had before. And I was feeling pretty good about Vector Man last night.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, well, we're going long already for some reason.
And we haven't talked about Smash yet.
We haven't talked about Smash. Okay, let's just do that.
Okay.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. We both got it day it came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've both been playing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've played a lot more than I have, but
I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like it came out and I played it like a bunch, like the first 2 days, like that Friday night and Saturday. And then I got like weirdly distracted by, the Persona 3 dancing game. And like, that was like all I played for like a week. Okay. On PS4. I got like super into it, and that game's great and I love it. And then I spent like the last like week and a half mostly catching up on comic books. Just because I had a massive stack from all my subscriptions, that like my mail order subscriptions. So pretty much like after work and stuff, I've just been, when I'm not watching wrestling, reading comics. And so I really haven't put a ton of time into Smash, but I started playing it again last night after my sweet Vector Man sesh. I started playing again, and then like I woke up this morning like with my cup of coffee, like before work, played some, and I had been like kind of thinking about playing it like all day, and like nice. I'm excited to like get back to it.
Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, I struggle to find the time to play games as much as, I would like to or whatever, but I've mostly been playing that whenever I can play something. I played a little bit of some of the new NES online games that came out, like Ninja Gaiden and stuff, but and I've been, kind of working away at Metroid as well on there, but no, I've been playing it pretty much as much as I can, and I've just been alternating between, playing local co-op, playing the spirit mode, and then, doing a couple runs through like the classic mode as well. I still have obviously, I think, unless you're playing a ton, I'm sure other people are in the same boat as me, but I still have so many characters to unlock. So, like it's going to be a while.
Going by my Twitter feed, apparently we're kind of alone in that, because I remember people on like Sunday and Monday of like launch weekend where like everyone's unlocked.
Oh, wow. Well, they should do a Nintendo podcast then, because I don't have Simon yet. I don't have either. Richter. I don't have so many. I mean, I probably have like 20 characters, total, maybe 25 or something. And there's 75.
Yeah, I have probably like 25 to 30.
Yeah. So I have a long ways to go. But I have to say, like, I'm really, really enjoying it. And, Ryan, when we played online the Saturday or Sunday morning it came out.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. I think it was Saturday morning, because then I went out of town later that day. But anyway, we played it that morning, and I had a blast. I had a lot of fun, but I had no idea what I was doing. I felt so like, what is this game even?
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd played it, because it came in the mail on Friday, but I couldn't play Friday. So I woke up Saturday morning and played it like with you guys, and that was the first time I was playing the game. And I was just like, so like, what do these buttons do? And like, I couldn't figure out where I was on the screen, and just like it was real confusing. But I'm past that place now, which is good, since it's been a week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever. But I'm past that place. Like I feel like when I go into a round with some friends, or if I'm playing classic mode or whatever, I don't feel good. Not by any means, not by any stretch of the imagination do I feel good, but I feel like I know what I'm trying to do. I know what the buttons do. Like the couple characters I play as, like I kind of know their move set like fairly well, and it's not a total confusing mess. But I feel like with a game like Smash Brothers, it can, when you're first playing it, just feel like I'm never gonna like understand this weird ass game. Like I'll never get what the hell's going on, you know. And now I feel like I do again, you know, which I did on like Wii and stuff. It just in 3DS and everything, it just took a while to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Spirit mode.
It's good. The World of Light.
Yeah, World of Light. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that is like, I don't know. Multiplayer Smash is super fun, especially if you're just playing with friends and like laughing and like not really caring who wins. Like that's a great experience. But like I love the single player mode since Melee. I just love unlocking all of the stuff. You know, going to the shop, buying the extra music tracks. You know, we're not unlocking trophies anymore, but we are unlocking these spirits, which are, you know, like characters from different games and stuff. And it's like hilarious to like unlock like a Metal Gear Solid character or Castlevania character and stuff. Like that's just super cool. As spirits, and then like, you know, making your team and leveling them up. Like it's just a lot to do, and like you feel like every time you play you're like making some sort of progress in it, which I think is really, really cool and really fun.
Yeah. I like it too. I definitely kind of feel like it's fun for like 20 minutes. To me, it's not like something where I can sit down and play through the World of Light for 2 hours at a time. It's a little too repetitive or whatever. But that's not a problem for me. I feel like Smash Brothers is like a, you know, obviously like it's primarily about for me anyway, it's primarily about the like local co-op, you know, that sort of thing, or a classic mode too, you know, going through and playing classic mode, or just, you know, like the Nintendo Museum aspect of it. And obviously that's something that's World of Light does well, because like you said, you're going through all these different Nintendo themed areas, and you're unlocking all these spirits that are, you know, related to these Nintendo, you know, games and stuff. And there's a lot of like history and love in all that. But gameplay wise, you know, it can get kind of repetitive, I think, if you try to do that mode in longer sessions. So I'm more into like, this is a game I'm going to be playing frequently for the next 3 years on my Switch. And so, you know, if once or twice a week I play World of Light for like half hour, and make a little more progress and keep chipping away at it, and then, you know, continue to play the game, local co-op or however, with friends and stuff. I think that's the way to do it for me, which is why I guess, you know, I don't have all the characters unlocked. Like I guess a lot of people on Twitter and, you know, people we know and stuff too. But I'm looking at Smash as more of a slow burn type thing. You know, I didn't really want to put 30 hours into it in the first week and then feel like, well, I've, you know, except for kind of random multiplayer sessions, I'm done with Smash. Like I just kind of want to play it fairly slowly for the next 6 months, and then, you know, intermittently after that, versus like just diving in super intensely for 2 weeks and then being done. So
yeah, totally.
But who are you playing as, mostly?
Well, I'm playing as, I'm going through classic mode, and I'm just playing through it through classic mode with everyone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like, because I think it's worth doing, because like I always did that in previous games as well, because like, you know, I think from Melee on, like when you played through it in classic mode, when you beat it with that character, you'd get like their trophy. In this case, you get their spirit. So I'm not sure if that's the only way to get like the spirits for like the main roster.
Okay.
But it's something that you're like guaranteed, and usually you get some other stuff too. And it's cool to play through classic mode, especially this time in ultimate, because there's like a little story to each playthrough. Like I just played through as Kirby this morning, and like the Kirby playthrough is like there's just food everywhere the whole time, and it's pretty funny. And then like there's different like final bosses for some of the characters. Like in as Yoshi, you fight a Rathalos from Monster Hunter at the end. And
well, Lynx is really good.
Yeah, what was it was
It's Ganon,
Ganon.
but
Ganon,
you can only hurt his tail.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool. I did that one. Yeah. Yeah, like those are super fun, and it like makes it to me like it feels worth it to play through classic mode as every character. And I think that's like it's maybe artificial longevity or whatever, but it's something to do. Like it's a fun game to play, and it's fun to like go to these stages and hear like the different music and everything. Like and classic mode I think is like a perfect length. Like I said, it's like something I can
Like
play
15
through
minutes maybe.
Yeah, as one character while drinking like my morning coffee. Like, and that's great.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I've been playing as Kirby a lot, I think, because you start out as him on World of Light, so I sort of got a little used to him, which he is not a character I probably ever would have played much with before, so kind of forced me to get used to Kirby a little bit. So that was cool. So I've been playing with him a little bit, but mainly for me so far has been Mario and Link and Samus, who I've always kind of played as those ones. Although I usually would play as Zero Suit Samus, and I don't have her unlocked yet. So Mario, Link, Samus, but then also the Inkling. I have been playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could not figure out how to play as Inkling. I did so bad.
I don't know if I'm that good at Inkling, but I do like it. Yeah. So that one I've been using, and there's one other one. Ryu from Street Fighter.
Okay.
I've been doing a fair amount too. Yeah, I like that one because it's like so easy to do a fireball or a dragon punch or a hurricane kick. Just press a button.
Yeah. So, or you can play it like Street Fighter.
What do you mean?
Like you can do the inputs,
like the quarter circles and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, well, I'm not doing that, but yeah, it's just like press like forward and B and does one, and like down and B doesn't. I don't know, or up and B doesn't. It's fun.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. I'm still, obviously really wanting to get Simon, but hopefully sooner than later. I know I could go online too and look up like the easiest way to get Simon, but I'm just kind of, I'm just chilling. Yeah. But I have gone into the soundtrack area or whatever and just like listened to a bunch of the Castlevania tunes.
Yeah.
They're rippers. Man, they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
So, yeah.
No, totally. Like I guess this will kind of be like a wrapping up here, but in like 3 days we are going to Japan, Lindsay and I, and it's there's a 13-hour flight involved, and I just today got a portable charger. Yeah. And the Nintendo made Switch charging dock. So I'm planning on
so like the okay, I got you.
So you can charge while you're playing
tabletop mode.
Yeah, so I'm planning on just like getting set up in my seat on the flight, plugging my headphones in, and I have a 15-hour charger. So I'll have a Switch for my entire flight, and I plan on just playing Pokemon Let's Go, which I still haven't finished, and then mostly Smash and Sega Genesis collection.
Nice. Will you and Lindsay do some local co-op there on the plane, or no? Like, will you fight each other, or is she not?
I don't know. Like, I don't think.
Does she have it?
Yeah, she did. She bought Smash. She's been just playing the single player stuff and enjoying it that way.
Okay.
I don't think we have any real desire to play against each other.
You don't want to beat each other up in Smash Bros.
No. If we did play anything multiplayer, we'd probably play Monster Hunter or Diablo 3.
Okay.
Co-op, which will probably happen as well on the flight. So
good.
But yeah, I mean, geez, like
take a nap too. I mean, you can.
I can't sleep on a plane. Are you joking?
I'm not.
No. Can't do it.
I can't sleep well on a plane, but I can sleep, especially 15 hours. I would do some snoozing.
Not me. I've done that flight many a time, and no sleep.
Okay. You must have to fly to like from Denver. You're probably stopping somewhere in California or something.
No, we're stopping in Ontario.
Ontario.
Yeah, weirdly.
That is weird. Because like weird. You got to go north and then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
I think that's or maybe it's Vancouver. I don't know. Still, same thing.
Vancouver would make whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We have one stopover. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
But
are you going to Kyoto or where are you going?
We are going Osaka, Tokyo, and Fukuoka. Are 3 stops over 10 days.
Okay. So no picture of you guys at the Nintendo headquarters this time.
No, and they probably like have restraining orders. I don't even think we're allowed there anymore.
On you guys specifically?
Yeah.
Because you've been there so much?
No, I mean last time we just like literally creeped around the property.
Well, yeah.
So,
you have to.
I mean, we didn't jump the fence or anything, but like we're definitely like walk the perimeter of the fence in the building, like trying to get a glimpse of something. But
I like it.
Yeah, it was good. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
So.
Well, Owen, for some reason, my son Owen, this is my last little anecdote here. About once every couple weeks, he's like, if you could go anywhere, where would you go, Dad? You know, and I'm always like, Japan. Yeah. Like I say it all the time. He's like, that's where I would go too. I don't know if he's like trying to get me to be like, you know what? I booked us a trip. I'm not sure if that's what he's thinking or what, but but that is where
you should do that bonding sometime.
Yeah. Well, maybe someday. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if I ever go to Japan,
mm-hmm.
which I would like to do, I will be sure to take him with me. I won't go without him.
Nice.
I don't know if I'll go, but if I go, I'll take him. Even if I'm like, 50 and he's like 25 or something, I'll take him.
Yeah, that's a good age to do that. Good time.
I'm probably not getting there before I'm 50, so yeah, maybe that's what we'll do.
That's not that far away.
Thank you. I know.
Same.
I'm aware.
But yeah,
but you're gonna go there like 5 more times before you're 50, so okay. Seems like we're done with this podcast.
Yep. I'm going to Japan 5 more times. Cool. Well, yeah. So we're not going to be recording for a while, but you probably wouldn't even notice because we've been in America this whole time and we haven't recorded for like a month, and that's just the way this podcast goes.
Yeah.
But, thanks for sticking with us and tuning in regardless. If you want to follow us, you can NintendoFunClubPodcast.com. I'm on Twitter at Brandwarf, BrawnDWARF.
And
what about you?
Twitter, I'm on Twitter at Arcade Ghost.
Cool. Well, we will catch you in the new year and have a great holiday and see you in 2019.
Yeah, man. Have fun in Japan, Ryan.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll have some for you and your son.
Thank you.